Alright, just came back and saw Flight Risk, and I have to say, it's very simple plot, but that's kind of the problem with it. So simple. There's nothing else going on with it. We don't learn anything about the characters. We don't learn there's no real plot or story to it. And it's just, hey, we have an air marshal, we have a pilot, and then we have a witness to some sort of crime. We don't know anything about this crime that goes on. We don't know anything about the drama, the law drama. The only drama has to do with everything that's kind of on this plane. But we don't. Thing is that we don't really get that in the movie, though. We just we don't really get any sense of drama or tension on the plane. Just that we know these three characters, and that eventually someone turns, right? And that's about it. And the whole dramatic situation is just on this flight. There's just on this flight to somewhere. Apparently, it's somewhere in Alaska. But once again, we don't know very much, and everything about the situation really is spoken through um, the the air marshal and her communications with by phone call or by radio, and you just don't feel the tension at all in this movie. And you don't know anything about anyone at all in this movie, so you just don't feel anything for this movie, really. And it's a bit disappointing because the movie is directed by Mel Gibson, who is a fantastic director. Mel Gibson is, Passion of the Christ, Braveheart, Hacksaw Ridge, Apocalypto. Great filmmaker. Mel Gibson, great filmmaker. But this movie is just, it's easily his weakest one that he's done, and part of it is once again the screenplay. The screenplay gives very little information. Very little information. We just know, hey, these characters need to go from point A to point B. There's no real plot points in this movie. There's no inciting incident in this movie. Whereas, usually in most movies, there's a rise in action. There's an inciting incident that happens. The Matrix. He meets Trinity. Neo meets Trinity. That's the inciting incident at the club. She meets Trinity at the club. It starts his journey towards the end of the movie, towards the whole story of the movie. The movie Up. After the whole inciting incident is that first scene where Carl and his wife, their childhood friends, they grow up together, they get married, but then she, and they have that dream of going to South America, but then she dies, she's infertile, she dies, and it's just him all alone by himself. That's the inciting incident of that movie Up. And or say another great example is Pixar's The Incredibles, right? After Mr. Incredible rescues the guy from falling from the building, after that, all superheroes are bad, and the government is shutting down all superheroes. They can no longer be out in the real world. That's the inciting incident of that movie. But once again, in Flight Risk, you don't get that, or if it is the inciting incident, it's too early, and way too early. I guess the inciting incident is revolved around Mark Wahlberg's character, but he doesn't do much at all in the movie, honestly. And but it's kind of good because it keeps the movie short, only in an hour and a half. But at the same time, you feel like the movie could just be condensed even further into just an hour length. Honestly, it's just not much once again, not much to the movie. The only dramatic sequences I would say is just when the plane, more towards the end, when the plane, are they going to crash? Are they going to keep going and going? And it's very, and I would say actually a better movie that has a bit of a similar premise, actually, is Airplane from 1980, the comedy, the spoof. Similar premise. An airplane's about to crash, right? And you need to save people on this airplane. Similar premise as Flight Risk, but you feel the tension in Airplane, but you don't in Flight Risk. And honestly, once again, that's the main crux. That's the main problem. It's too short. There's nothing that really goes on in the movie compared to Airplane, which has around the same time length as Flight Risk, about an hour and a half. But there's things that go on. There's actual dramatic tension in Airplane. Even though it's a comedy, there's actual dramatic tension in Airplane. But there's none at all in Flight Risk. I know I'm repeating myself over here, but yeah, it's just nothing there. So it really degrades the movie. It really would have been better as probably just some one off TV movie than a feature length theatrical film. So that's where I give Flight Risk. It's probably below average, to be honest, below average. So once again, that's all I've got today. Please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know any comments down below, and I will see you for another movie review next week.